Have you ever wondered why one post will get you hundreds of views while the other one might get you thousands? Well, do I have the tea for you? By the way, this is chai tea, my favorite. So this is a video style that I've never done before, but it is you that inspired me because of all the love that you give me to do a case study on this recent success story that took me a year to fulfill. The hope is that I share my success with you, you'll learn it, and then in return become successful yourself. This is a deep dive on my Queen of Hearts solo. If you can't tell by now with this outfit, I performed this solo 12 times all over the country, and what I find fascinating is that there was one solo that was not like the others, and you can actually measure this with views on social media. What was it about my final solo that outperformed all the others? Well, the answer is there is no short answer. It depends on a lot of different variables. I'm starting this case study by sharing what I thought I would learn versus what I actually did learn, and the difference is night and day. If you want to skip to that final insight, then your time is valuable to me, and I have divided this video into chapters below. Something that I recommend doing is journaling. When I look back to my past entries, something always stands out that sparks joy, and that is the love for dance and travel. Luckily, something exists that contains both of those, and that is ballroom dancing competitions. How efficient! There is good news and bad news to competing. Here's the good news. Regardless of your age or skill level, I recommend every single person on this earth compete at least once. You will go in 1% and come out changed. Every time you step out on that dance floor, it is an honor. It's a tribute to all the hard work poured into something that you love. P.S. If you enjoy watching Dancing with the Stars, then you would love competing because Dancing with the Stars is just the tip of the iceberg. Want to know the bad news? It's the cost. It is comparable to the cost of getting married, and I would know because I just got married in Mexico with 35 guests, and that about covers a competition if you want the full experience. We don't all have this budget, but because I do love the notion of dancing and traveling, I came up with the dance plan. I love how that comes out, dance plan, where I could do just that and make it affordable. The other goal was confronting my stage fright. Stage fright is a real thing. I've had my legs shake underneath me to where I can't stand on it. Typically, this happens to me in waltz. I also always request to go first during performances. That way, my body just goes with it, but my brain hasn't caught up to the fact that I am nervous. I don't think my nerves have ever gone away when I compete or perform, but I figure if I'm constantly putting myself out there in front of an audience, then eventually, like a muscle, I would get used to it. I agree with this experiment. By the time I completed the list of studios to visit, I felt like I had gotten enough practice to where I could control the nerves. I also found out the secret behind it. It's not about the number of times you perform, it really is all in your head and comes down to confidence. Throughout the course of this year-long tour, I documented my memories and notes. I also posted my experiences to give you an idea on how these performed. It was about 670 views per reel. Once I finished my last stop at Nashville, this is where I decided to call it a day. But this is when things took a turn because the following reels that I posted got an average of 13,000 views. I had caught wind of a new show coming out. For those of you who are Disney fans, you probably remember it as The Descendants: Rise of Red, and I could not help but see the clear connection between that show and my solo. I have trained my brain to follow energy of momentum. This is a topic that you're going to hear me talk about in my other videos. Essentially, if you already see energy in flow, it is much easier to piggyback off of that than to create a concept out of thin air. When I saw Descendants: Rise of Red coming out, then I realized I had to schedule one more performance, which leads to our next topic. On to the topic of scheduling. This is probably the least exciting topic in this video, but it is the most important one. I recommend making plans out of something that is trending because it will give you the sense of urgency to get it done. For example, if I would have waited a month to do this performance after Rise of Red came out, it would have been exciting, but my question to you is, would it have been as impactful? My best advice is having a clean plan to stick to, and here's an example for a template. I see when Rise of Red comes out, which is July 12th, then I schedule the performance that week, so I pick July 10th. Then I backtrack a month, let's say June 12th. I make a flyer to post that day. I recommend getting this flyer out a month in advance, especially if you want people to make plans to physically be there. If it's virtual, then I would give people 2 weeks, let's say June 26th. Then you have to decide if you want to post content that week of. I know that creating a content calendar helps me commit to actually posting, especially when I write things down. I also realize that when I write things out, I subconsciously already start working on it when I'm sleeping, showering, pumping gas. Thank you, brain. In my case, it's posting photos or reels, but in your case, it could be something like sending out a newsletter, an email, or thank you notes. If you have followed me for some time, you know that I love murals. The first reason is because they're typically found in places that are accessible, like parking lots, and then 2, because they fully fill the frame. Since we're living now in an age when you post a photo, it's typically in that 4:5 aspect ratio. You don't have to worry about doing too much intense cropping with murals. I often drive around Orlando in what I call wall shopping, and when you are living and breathing a theme, in my case it's the Queen of Hearts, then my brain is making connections faster. When I came across the Stop and Smell the Roses wall, it was a no-brainer. It was like instantly spotting Where's Waldo in a storybook. I knew this wall was going to be the perfect photo shoot opportunity to generate hype. The next question is, how hyper-focused do we want these hype posts to be? The answer is that I want it to be more hyper-focused on the theme of Queen of Hearts than the performance itself. I recruited Judy to portray the Cheshire Cat, and we decided to celebrate with a girls' night out. I was going off of excitement at the time, and I've always wanted to check out High Tea Orlando. At that time, I didn't realize that I was scheduling my own outreach program. When we went, we showed up in full costume. We were overflowing with energy. We let everyone and their flamingo know we had a performance coming up, from the hostess to the bartenders. Without realizing, this turned into what a lot of organizations call as a press conference or a media night. This is where I get into my favorite topic, which is experimenting. This is where you're in the right headspace and ideas just flow naturally. I tried this opacity effect I've never tried before, and now I am constantly using it. Judy also found this trending audio that we played with. This is how you know that you are in the right place with the right people at the right time, when you feel comfortable enough to experiment. On to collaborations. I am going to give you some tough love with the hard truth. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. You need to be selective over the circle of friends, and once it is established, you need to let them shine. But the biggest catch is that you need to be comfortable with letting them outshine you in whatever their expertise may be. This project started off with Judy, but then we recruited another talented dancer and creative partner, Angie, as Alice, into what we named as the Wonderland Mini Show. If I had to pinpoint an expertise of my friends that elevates me, I would start with Judy. She always brings the most elaborate ring light setup I've ever seen, and when she has her ring light set up, she is the most comfortable person I've ever seen do a live stream. You can tell she's comfortable because of the way she breathes and she's herself. And so when I do live streams, I try to channel her because I'm already getting nervous thinking about doing live streams, but that's how much she's helped me. Then there's Angie. She has the best Gen Z confidence. It is refreshing. She pitched to perform with a song from Melanie Martinez that fit in great with the blend, and I'm so grateful that she was there to educate me and others on that Gen Z trendy style. Do you want to see a clip? Here's my favorite part of the performance. challenge and friendship because just look at the response below. So what did I learn? I digested all 12 performances and here's my take on it. I realized that what's most fulfilling to me is making an impact to the community. I know before you think I'm getting ooey gooey, mushy mushy, it's true. I started off the experience by prioritizing on individual goals like budgeting and confronting stage fright, to where at the end of the experience, those goals didn't even register to me. I was thinking now about something bigger than myself. I was prioritizing things like seeing patterns, outreach, collaborations. It took me 11 repetitions of the exact same dance performance to come to this realization, and now I just gave you a shortcut to the answer. See, now you don't have to travel all over the country dancing. And here is that slide dedicated just for you. I transitioned from what can I fix about myself to what can I offer others. Thank you for listening to my success story. I would love to hear from you in the comments below if you enjoyed this case study format where I shared my learnings. If you like this video, you're going to love my Queen of Hearts docu-diary. It's going to go behind the scenes of how that sausage is made. Yes, I love that term. You will learn everything from the choreography decisions to how to choose the perfect tiara.